I tapped into an amazing agency called Scale, and Scale allowed me to take, they took me to the next level. So it really came down to starting from one level to crawling to walking and then to running. And then when I, obviously when I got involved with Scale 10 times my business.
All right, so we're live here with another interview from one of our clients. We're super excited to interview this gentleman. He is known as the Boss Credit System. That is his brand, and he's helping hundreds, if not thousands of people get their buying power back. And this is a gentleman that I have a lot of respect for because I've seen what he brings to the table in terms of his entrepreneurship, his business acumen, but also the fact that he's just so coachable and willing and just so open to learning new things. And that's just really remarkable. And it's a sure sign of someone who, is all about learning how to scale their business and scaling their business to the next level. And that's Mr. Tre Davis, man. I appreciate you jumping on. I know you've been super busy doing a lot of things. Your business is booming, but thank you so much for making the time to jump on this session with us today. How are you, my friend?
Man, I'm super excited, Max, man. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to, carve out some time and jump on this interview with you, man. It's amazing. Super excited about it today.
Oh man, I can't wait for people to hear your story, to hear what you're doing, because I know there's a lot of people in the credit space right now that are looking for the secret sauce of what they can do to go from, where they're at to, scaling their business and the same way you're doing and the way you've been doing. So super pumped up. Why don't you just share with the community really quick your story? How'd you get started in credit repair? What that background looks like for Mr. Tre Davis.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. So I got started in it, a few years ago. And one of the reasons why is I went through a divorce. I went through a divorce and my credit score went all the way down to a 479, right? So, with me already being a business owner, see, I'm my background is in barbering. So I have a couple of barber shops as well. So with me being a business owner already, and then me going through the divorce, it was just one of those things where I really got sick and tired of my situation. In our industry, 90% of our income is cash, meaning in the beauty and barbering industry. So I wanted to be able to leverage my credit again so I can expand, right? So what I did is I just buckled down, I educated myself, and then as I educated myself, I wanted to go out and start educating other people based off of my experience. So with that being said, man, in about 6.5 months of educating myself and getting myself, restoring my credit score increased well over 200 plus points, right? So I'm super excited to be able to share the knowledge and the information with people all over the country, man. As many people and, help as many people as I can.
And that's awesome. So I relate to your story because I too went through a divorce, and it's crazy. You know what? 50% of married people end up in a divorce. Obviously it's an unfortunate thing, but it's a reality. And that's how, they always say there's always opportunity in tragedy, right? Right. And so what you did, that's the situation is what sets you up to kind of like, okay, my credit is terrible. I got to figure this out. And I'm sure you had no intention of starting a credit repair business. You were just like, I got to fix my credit.
Right.
In that process of fixing your credit, you got educated. And then at that point, you realize, man, there's an opportunity here. I'm not the only one who needs this. There's a lot of people who need this. And that's how you were able to really connect those dots and see a value in getting started in credit repair. Is that right?
Absolutely. I wanted to start to leverage my network. Being in the beauty and barbering industry, I have a little bit of a name in the industry. So I have a lot of clientele. I know a lot of people in the industry. So as I started to immerse myself in the credit industry in that space, I started getting a lot of my clients to ask me about it because I had already established trust with them from, providing services for them over the years. So meaning barbering services or beauty services with them over the years from coming into my other businesses. But the trust was already established. So it was a kind of I won't necessarily say an easy transition, but with the trust already being established, the conversation was a little less abrasive and easier to have that conversation with the customers. And as I gave them the knowledge that they needed to improve their credit, it was easy for me to get them involved and enrolled in the program and help them change their life also.
You know, it's interesting because I think a lot of people, there's two schools of thought. You know, one school of thought is like, okay, talk to your friends and family, start with that because that's easy. And obviously that's how most people will start. The other school of thought is like, you know what, my family's skeptical, my friends are skeptical. They're going to want to wait and see how I do first. And then maybe, you know, then they'll jump on board. My question for you is, how did you transition? What was the conversation like? Because credit is a touchy topic. And if you're dealing with like your network, if you're dealing with your clientele, that might be a really, you know, a kind of an uncomfortable conversation to have with them. So how did you like open that door to be able to talk to that existing network of yours about their credit?
Well, that's a good question. It really came from branding and marketing, exposing what I'm doing, exposing my experiences, exposing my losses and my successes throughout the journey. So as I started to do that, brand, promote, market, and expose, when the clients came in, the conversation was pretty easy. They actually opened the door. Hey, I see you. You're helping people with credit. I see you went through a divorce, but you got your credit fixed. Tell me how I can do it, man. I'm trying to get a house, or I'm trying to get a car. I'm trying to change my mindset to where I can save more and budget more. So that's kind of the conversation. And as I started to continue to do that consistently, it was easy to help more people.
That's awesome. So, so what you're basically saying is you didn't necessarily have to go direct. You didn't like have someone in the chair and start saying, "Hey, what's your credit score?" It was
Right.
more, it was more indirect because you were using your social media platform, posting and content, and what you were posting there, and they would see it obviously, and then
Right.
that opened the door because they were like, "Man, what? Oh, I didn't know Trey. Okay, so maybe Trey can help me out," and then they would come to you. So it was like you were fishing. You weren't hunting.
Absolutely.
You were fishing. You just put it out there, and people came to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's a different mentality than what most people have. Because I don't know if you ever experienced this, but that pushy salesperson where they just come at you like, hey, you want to buy this, you need this, and they just keep trying to push their product on you, and it pushes you away, right? If you
Right.
chase people run. So in essence, what you did was you just used branding and marketing on social media, become attractive, provide value, pique their interest, and then they all started coming to you.
Right. Absolutely.
Let's talk about
Absolutely.
that. Let's talk about the type of content you utilize on social media because you know your branding is pretty clean, man. I like your logo's clean, your videos are clean. Like obviously when we first started working together, we utilized a lot of that. Can you just give some people some tips, like what type of content you were using, especially in the beginning? Say some people don't have a big budget, they might have limited resources. So what type of stuff did you post so you really stood out and got people excited and interested about credit repair?
Well, in the beginning stages, I use that iPhone that I have. I pay a fee every single month, right? So I figure, hey, look, I may as well leverage what I already have, my resources that I already have, and that's what I did. So I started taking pictures of myself, right? I started taking pictures of my growth, starting to show my growth from where I began all the way up, really kind of sharing my story through images and uh, putting certain words and captions, really sharing my story through all platforms, and also leveraging the story. See, a lot of people are just post on social media, but you want to leverage your stories also. So really posting in the stories because you can get a lot of uh, relationships built through stories. Most people don't like to comment or click like on pictures on Facebook or Instagram. But if you post in your stories, you can capture some another audience also. But really being consistent with that, sharing my story through pictures and captions and words, being motivational, being inspirational, and most importantly, showing results.
Hmm.
People want to see results. It's great to say, hey, you can do this and do that. But once you can actually get them results and then get the people to also share their testimony, then we got something going on there. So that's really what I started to do. And then, of course, I tapped into an amazing agency called Scale. And Scale allowed me to take, they took me to the next level. So it really came down to starting from one level to crawling to walking and then to running. And then when obviously when I got involved with Scale 10 times my business.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. I think one thing that stands out about what you do, and we work with a lot of credit companies, as and a lot of those guys, they're great companies, but for whatever the reason, it's like they're just really hesitant to be the face of their business, right? But you got no problem with that. You're like, hey, I'm Tre Davis. I'm Boss Credit Systems. Here's who I am. And it's like, when we look at your content, when we look at your social media, and we look at the stuff that we're doing for you, it's like, oh man, I know Tre. First, I see it's this person, and then it's like, oh, and he does credit. It's not, oh, it's a company that does credit, and by the way, it just happens to be this guy named Tre. It's like you are the face of your brand. Can you talk about that? Like, why is that important, and how does that really help you when it comes to closing the sale?
That's a good question, Max. Well, you know what I've learned. See, one of the things that people don't know is I have a branding and marketing background. So I actually, you know, I did some things earlier in my corporate career prior to going into entrepreneurship. So I have a branding and marketing background. So I understand that being the face of your company, being that authoritative figure in your company, the trust is going to be there. See, you know, you can go out and you can promote a lot of different things, but if they don't see you and know you and try and build a relationship with you and see your growth, then it could be a little, the process can be a little different. I'll just say it like that. But what I've learned is, not only from myself, but from mentors, is you want to be the authority in your business. You want to be able to educate and be that voice in your business. And all I've done is just really learn from mentors, and you know, didn't reinvent the wheel, and I just did it, got better, got more confident over time, and boom, there you go. You know, explosion happened.
Yep. No, that's awesome. That is so valuable and so important. I hope a lot of people take that message and, you know, kind of just step, because a lot of people are fearful. You know, they're like uncomfortable. They're not used to being the face. They're not used to being on camera. You know, we have a client who's been with us for like 3-4 months, and they've been killing it. And then they were like, man, how do I take it to the next level? And we always look at our clients that we work with that are killing, that are scaling up, that are booming it. And they all have like one thing in common, and that is they are not afraid to be the face. They're not afraid to show their face. They're not afraid to make videos. They're just out there. And this is outside of the advertising. We're just talking like on the organic social media stuff, like you posting stories, popping videos on social media, Facebook Live, Instagram Live. They're just feeding content out to the marketplace. And I guess what it boils down to is that with all these people who are just kind of watching from a distance, they're getting to know you, right? Every post you make, every time they see your face in a video, they get to know you. So by the time they're ready, it's like they feel like you're their friend already. So the close is a natural thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, you know, just being consistent with that, and you know, continuing to just be positive, you know. One thing about this business, or any business, you got to be consistent. You got to be positive. I like to call it BC. You got to have some belief and some confidence. You got to take a BC every day. You got to have that belief and confidence, and know that, hey, look, you have the best thing smoking. You have a solution to their problem. And if you can really start to develop that, you'll start to see yourself growing in the next 30, 60, or 90 days, and see your business, you know, scale up.
I need some of that BC.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. And that's exactly it, man. It's like you're coming from a place of, I'm going to help you solve your problem, right?
Absolutely.
I'm here to help you, not sell you, but help you. And that's why you can have that belief and confidence, because you know your product, you know what you can do for people, because you lived it, right? And that's what it comes down to. Started with you. You're your best testimony.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Now, in terms of sales, so like, actually, let's talk about selling really quick, because when it comes to, we always try to teach our clients, like, hey, if you've been doing social media organically and you've been getting customers, that's great, because that's your audience. Those are the people who follow you, they know you, they see your posts. But when you start running advertisements, paid advertising, like what we do as an agency, and you start generating all these leads, and you got all types of people filling out forms, it's cold. These are people who don't know you, they don't follow you, they just saw your ad. Can you talk about that paradigm shift mentally? What was that like? Or maybe it was not a big deal for you, but it just seemed like from the very beginning that you were natural at selling to cold Facebook leads from the ad and Instagram leads. Can you talk about that mindset and talk about that transition, or what it was like?
Yes, sir. So it was really more about kind of like what I just shared a second ago, knowing that if I'm going to invest into myself and invest into my business, I gotta be able to fail forward. I gotta have enough confidence to be able to get on the phone with these people and to be able to share the information that they need to to come up with a solution to their problem. So it's really comes down to confidence, knowing your product, and knowing that you can get them results if they enroll into your program. So I came in out the gate, hit the ground running, that knowing, hey, look, I'm confident enough to know that I have the information and I can convey the information to you well enough to where I can enroll you into this amazing program. And then most importantly, at the end of the day, get you results in the next 45 to 90 days.
Yep. So in basic terms, you just applied the BC concept. Like, even though it was a cold lead, they didn't know you, you didn't know them, they weren't even following you, they just saw an ad at 2 a.m. and clicked on it. You still came into the conversation with belief and confidence and knowing that what you had could solve their problem.
Absolutely. That's it.
Would you say people overcomplicate selling credit repair? Do you think they overcomplicate it?
Say that again.
Not you. Do you think that most businesses, like business owners in credit repair, do you think they overcomplicate how they sell credit?
I think so. I think so. I think so. I think it's a really simple process, because at the end of the day, when people reach out to you, that right there already in my mindset, in my mind, triggers me to let me know that they have a problem, right? And they're reaching out to me because they're looking at me as if I have a solution to that problem. So whether they're cold, warm, hot, I'm coming in the same way. But yeah, to answer that question, I do. I think it's being overcomplicated. I think it's a simple process. Answer their questions, come up with a solution to their problem, and get them rolling. That's really it. And know that you can get them results.
That's it. That's awesome. I love it. So now let's kind of shift gears, because obviously we first connected, I think, a couple months ago. And when we first connected, I think you reached out to the agency, and, you know, timing wasn't necessarily right. I think you had already your own stuff going on with marketing and branding and all that. And then, you know, I think eventually you came back around and we decided, okay, it makes sense. Let's partner up. And we did. Can you talk about what made you in the first place even get the idea to partner with our agency? What made you want to do that? Like, what was it in your business that you felt that you were missing or lacking that maybe you thought a professional agency like ours could help assist in that development?
Well, you know, when it comes down to really growing a big business and having goals and aspirations to become the best version of yourself in the business, you can't do it by yourself. So for me, I had a lack of experience in ads, how to, you know, strategically do ads to get the leads that I needed. So I knew that I needed some assistance. Yeah. I knew I needed to. That was another level of investment that I needed to invest in myself to go to the next level. So one of the reasons why I didn't enroll the first time is because I wanted to see where I was lacking. I wanted to see what holes I had, and those were the holes. It was the ads, understanding how to get leads, understanding how to funnel through the leads, understanding how to get the information across in a timely fashion, to where it's a systematic approach. So, you know, obviously me and you, we had talked throughout the process, and I said, you know what, it's time to get with Max. It's time to go ahead and level up. I'm ready to go to the next level, because I had already studied the agency. You know, I had already knew that you guys had some great reviews, some amazing reviews, and I knew it was just time. The timing is of the essence. The first time, it just wasn't a good time for me, but I knew in order to take this thing to the next level going into 2020 and 2021 and on, I needed to get with scale right away.
You know, it's interesting because of the timing, right? I think everybody can relate to this. I think when we first connected, it was pre-COVID-19, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So, I mean, you had no idea that the whole country was going to shut down the way it did. And obviously, as an agency, we had no idea. So right. I think for a lot of people who partnered with us pre-COVID-19, they experienced a growth and spike in their business because they did have system online marketing and online strategies in place to kind of like bridge that gap. So even though everything was shut down, it was like they were still cranking out leads. Can you talk about that? I mean, did you experience that during that whole shutdown with the country, but having a system in place like this? Like, what did that mean for your business?
Oh man, it took my business to the next level. So, you know, like, you know, kind of like what you mentioned in the first part of the interview, When I got with scale and I was on the first tier, that first level, I mean, my business went up. I mean, it increased tremendously, right? And then as I continued to, use the system, and the system started to really get in place, as I started to learn the leads that was coming in, learn the process. Oh man, it just took my business to the next level, and I'm glad that the timing happened the way it was, because, like you said, I didn't know what the end all be all of COVID. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know we were going to get shut down. I just knew that the timing uh, was now. I think I had got a text message from you with a video. I watched the video. I said, you know what? My thought process is, this is already telling me I need to get with Max. So I think a day or two later, I got with you. It was no hesitation, because we had already established a relationship over time, and I knew what I needed to do. So it was a no-brainer from that standpoint.
That's fantastic. So let's talk about, since being, working the system and obviously with the leads and the ads and automations and all that, how has that helped simplify your business? Like in terms of the timing that you're having to put in with all the prospects. Can you talk about what skill? I know it's helped you grow your business, but is there anything that stands out in your mind? Like, what are the biggest values that you've gotten from utilizing our strategy and our system?
The biggest value that I've gotten is time freedom. It gives me the ability to work on some other things in the business. And then it also gives me the ability to kind of see how the marketing process is from an agency standpoint, because as I see this thing and I see it grow, I had a lot of holes that I couldn't fill. I just couldn't do it. I was like an octopus. I had like 8 arms, but I couldn't do the job to my best ability. So as I got with Scale, they put the systematic approach down, got with the team, you and your team, and it's just like it's flowing like a river now. It's like a layup, 1-2 layup, shooting it off the glass now with no problem. And now I feel like now everything is going in place like it needs to go. Everything is going in place like it needs to go. I'm attracting more people. The attraction marketing is there, because now I am the face of my company. Not only that, the BC is there. So it's like the system is already in place and it's just flowing. And now the time freedom is there. So it's giving me the ability to bring on more people who's interested in not only getting their credit straight, but also possibly supplementing their income as well.
Yeah, you're also mentoring people on how to start credit businesses.
Absolutely.
How many people are you mentoring, or that are part of your group that you're mentoring? Because I know there's a lot of people that either had already had a credit business and they're still struggling, or these are new people who never had a credit business, but you're coaching them and mentoring them on how to scale their businesses. Can you talk about
that? Yep. So I have like close to thousands of people that I talk to. Wow. I have several teams across the country. This has been amazing, man. I always like to say this term, like, God is faithful. He's put me in a position to be able to, in a short time, to be able to mentor, a lot of people across the country, and it's getting better and better. So, I love it, man.
What do you teach these guys? What do you teach your mastermind group, when it comes to credit businesses and thinking like an entrepreneur? What are some of the tips you give them that maybe our audience can benefit from?
What I teach them, first off, I teach the mindset. I teach on mindset. I teach on belief. I teach on principles. And then most importantly, I teach on the matters of personal finance. Why you need to get your credit repaired. Why you need to rebuild your credit. How you build out your profile. So you can have a 700 credit score, but your profile, if it's not built out correctly, you won't get approved for those cards. So it's a certain way why you need to go ahead and make sure you maximize the 5 components of a credit score. Right. So it's a lot of different components that's in place other than removing negative items. And that's what I teach on. I teach on the why, not only the why, but I also teach on the how to get it done.
That's awesome. And these are people that want to start a business in the credit space. So you teach them the fundamentals. Absolutely. And then teach them strategies to grow their business, to get customers.
Yes, sir. Teach them on the fundamentals, teach them on how to strategize, and also teach them on how to share the information with pretty much anybody that they come in contact with.
That's awesome. So in essence, you pretty much have taken what you've done to scale your credit business and you have organized it in a way where you can duplicate it and teach it to other people. So whether they've been in day one in credit business or they know nothing about credit business or they've had a credit business, they're able to kind of like take your cookie cutter approach to growing and scaling their own credit business. Is that in essence what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yep. I've helped a lot of people that had no knowledge about the credit business,
Wow.
gave them the system and the game plan to go out and actually execute it, and now they have significant credit businesses. They're supplementing their income. They're getting more time freedom with their families. They're able to take these vacations that they never could take. They're able to help other people get homes, get cars, help them refinance. So that's what it's all about, helping as many people as we can, using the same system, duplicating that, and changing lives, changing as many lives as possible.
I love it, man. That's fantastic. So, now that we've been working together for a couple of months, your business is booming. I mean, I know with the team that we have working with you in conjunction with the strategy that you've given us and all that, like sales are coming in every single day. Like, what do you see for your business? And let's say the next 6 months to close out 2020, what are your goals in your business? What are your targets? How are you looking at things in the market with what's been going on around the country? Just shed some light on how you, as Mr. Tre Davis, sees the next 6 months in his business.
Well, I see the Boss credit system really, really growing. I see the exposure coming, and here's why. Because I feel like COVID is going to take effect again.
Yeah.
That's one reason, but not only for COVID, for leverage, but I think just because of the reputation is growing. The results are growing. More people are starting to be more acclimated to see what Boss credit system. I feel like the relationships are there. So as the relationships continue to nurture and grow, more people are, like you said, building that trust with me. They're feeling like, hey, look, I've been knowing them for years, and they're more apt to sign up. So I can see in the next 6 months, I can definitely see Boss credit systems 10 times from where I am right now, just due to having that systematic approach in place and just being prepared. That's really what it comes down to.
Awesome. I mean, you hit it right on the head, man. Having all the systems in place and being prepared. That's really what it is, right? That's what they say. Luck is opportunity. When opportunity meets preparation, that's the definition of luck.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's beautiful, man. Now, is there any final pieces of advice you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap this up? This has been really awesome. I think, in fact, if you could, how can people get in contact with you if they either want to get their credit fixed or learn about, how coaching and starting a credit business? How can they reach out to you and get that information?
Yep, they can reach out to me. First off, I want to say this. An 800 credit score is worth more than $100,000. An 800 credit score is worth more than $100,000. One thing that you can't take to the closing table and to the bank is shoes, clothes, and liabilities. But what you can take to the bank and to the closing table is a good credit score, is a great credit score, is an excellent credit score. So if you're looking to get your credit repaired, you can contact Tre Davis at the Boss Credit Systems at 804, right? 831-6979. You can contact me on Instagram at TRE_TRIM as in Mary, Z as in zebra. You can contact me on Facebook at Tre Davis, right? I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter at TRE_TRIMZ as well. So I'm on all platforms. You can contact me. You can Google Boss Credit Systems. You can Google Tre Davis. And we'll definitely get someone on the phone with you. If I can't get with you, I have some amazing team members that's going to get with you and be able to share with you whatever your problems are. We'll try to get you some solutions and get you started. And look forward to changing your life in the next 60 to 90 days. All you're going to have to do is just take action, right? I know you're going to watch this video. You're going to say, I know he's talking to me. But the next step is to take action, right? So you want to look at yourself and say, where am I going to be in the next 6 months? Where am I going to be in the next 30 days? Where am I going to be in the next 90 days? You can be exactly where you want to be if you invest in yourself and take action. Once again, reach me at TRE Tre_Trimz on Instagram, right? That's Tre_Trims. Reach me at Tre Davis on Facebook, right? TreDavis. Reach me at Boss Credit Systems, www.bosscreditsystems.com. And then you can call me. My phone is always open at 804-831-6979. Thank you so much, Max.
Hey, Mr. Davis, appreciate your time, sir. It's been a true honor and pleasure spending some time with you here. Thank you so much for the words of advice you've given our audience. I know they're going to be really motivated and inspired. I can't wait to get all those messages. We'll be sharing this. So once again, sir, thank you so much for jumping on and continue scaling, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.